Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Just before we get you some business news now, as I said earlier, that we're keeping a very close eye on the developments at the IEC offices in Pretoria. What we understand now is that the ANC has handed its list to the IEC in Pretoria. The deadline for political parties to submit is 5 o'clock in less than 29 minutes from now. ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule has confirmed that individuals like Nomvula Mokonyane, Bathabile, Dlamini and Malusi, Gigaba are among some of the people who made the list. The DA says it has also finalized and submitted its list to the IEC. Close to 35 parties are expected to contest the elections on the 8th of May. To talk to us more about this, we have Dr. Mazwe Majola. He's a leadership expert and he joins me now in studio. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Yes.
So one would think that this might have been a very difficult one for the ANC, more so to include some of its members' names who had been implicated in state capture inquiry, for example, the likes of Nomvula Mokonyane?
ANC is a very complex organization. It's governed by structures. So when you're a leader, even if you don't want or you don't support certain thing, your power is very limited. Yes, you can influence it, but it's very limited because if the branches or the structures want certain individual, that person will be there. It's up to that individual who has been nominated, because remember that there's no one who puts a gun on someone and say, you shall do this.
Well, we understand former President Jacob Zuma refused to be included on the list.
Absolutely. Not only him, there are other people who refuse. So
Tony again, I think, is one of them.
Exactly. You are nominated, and then you as an individual, you can accept or refuse. So it's up to individual elected how do they see themselves in terms of their conscience. Do they want to be there? It's about their self-interest, or it's about the organizational interest and the country's interest.
But one would also say that it would have been unfair not to include them at this particular moment, because one is innocent until proven otherwise.
That is in legal terms, yes. But in ethical terms, no. Because remember that if you are a leader and you are implicated in some areas or in some issues, yes, you may not be, it may not be guilty until, or rather, you may be innocent until proven guilty. But the fact that your name has been branded around, that tarnishes the organization. The people that have been mentioned, people like Nomvula, people like Malusi, people like Bathabile, yes.
Well, Bathabile Dlamini was found to have lied under oath, isn't it?
Yes, by the Constitutional Court, you know. So it's up to an individual's conscience to say, yes, I have not been found guilty, but because for the sake of the organization, I want to withdraw. Because remember that if you're a leader, let's talk about accountability. Accountability starts from an individual. You know, great leaders hold themselves accountable first, so that you hold yourself accountable before being held accountable by other people. So it's not like you must wait for other people to say you are wrong, you must go. It's you who must look at yourself and make an introspection and say, according to my conscience, I'm not saying I'm guilty of this, but I would like to withdraw. So these individuals, really, they could have saved ANC, because it's going to cost the party a lot, because these elections is going to be the battle of ethical leadership. Those organizations who seem, or who seem to be bereft of morality, they are going to find them difficult to win voters.
So that's the ANC. Let's take a look at the DA now for a while. There's been so much controversy really around the Democratic Alliance. So do you think they also had some tough time in deciding who to put on the list? But surely they must have had to balance certain things like the race race?
Like race, like gender, but race is the most is a crux of the DA's dynamics or complex of problems. So of course, after 30 minutes or so from now, we'll probably see the list. We'll see that there was some disputes, some dynamics. Most of these big parties, there will be that because it's a balancing act. They're trying to balance so many things. They're balancing race, balancing gender, balancing generational gap or mix, or they have to get experienced people, balance them with the youth. So they will find that quite challenging.
Yeah. So, but I believe these are going to be very interesting elections. We've seen an increase really in the number of political parties contesting the elections since 1999. I think this year we have the highest.
Since 1999, there were 16 political parties that were registered. So
we have what, approximately 34?
34 this year, exactly. 34 this year that will be participating. So you can see the beauty of democracy. And
the voters will be spoiled for choice.
Well, yes, you know, and voters are so aware now. They know what is right and wrong. It's no more like blinded support where they can put the vote anywhere. So it's going to be the most contentious election this year.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you in studio. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Mazwe Majola is a leadership expert, of course, talking to us about the deadline that's looming in, 23 minutes from now. That would be the deadline for all political parties to submit the candidate list. But for now, it's time to do some business with Colin.